All right, welcome back. Let's now take you through our first segment here from our Benin Network studio, as we're planning to hand you over back to Abuja in a moment. But however, we'll go straight into more worrisome issue that has to do with the insecurity in our nation. It has been increasing in time past, and of course, it looks like there is no end in sight. Every right-thinking Nigerian at this point is actually hoping and believing that the government should start putting measures in place to end this ugly situation that has actually taken us backward. That's what we'll be looking at this morning, as we have with us a clergyman joining virtually from the capital of Kaduna State. He's in person of Reverend David Ayuba Azaman. He's the Assistant General Overseer, King's Worship Chapel and Ministry, Kaduna State. He's also a civil rights activist. Thank you so much for joining us, Reverend Ayuba.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
All right, it's always a delight to have you. And of course, here at the studio, we have with us Jumbo Godwin. He's the convener, Best Edo Project. He's a public affairs analyst and a politician. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's get to Reverend Ayuba. Reverend Ayuba, you're going to help us now. Give us insight. You reside in Kaduna. Let's begin with the school children that have reunited with the state government. And of course, report reaching us says that the government will be handing them over to their parents. Kaduna State has always been a flashpoint for kidnapping, banditry, and farmer herders clashes. Walk us through. Is there any end in sight?
Yes, we want to God for the release of more than 200 students that were kidnapped at Kuriga in Chukun local government area of Kaduna State. Some people said ransom have been paid. Some people said no ransom has been paid. But the most important thing is that these students have been released. I want to use this medium to call on the government, whether federal or Kaduna State, to do something about the 7 other people that were kidnapped at Goningora about 48 days ago. Because just today, this morning, I received a report. The kidnappers are demanding for about $20,000 US. That is about 30 million naira. If the ransom is not paid by today, 28th of March, they are going to kill them. You just asked whether there is something when will this end?
Is there an end in sight?
Is there any hope?
Are we going to come out of this anytime soon?
You see, in my own honest opinion, people are using this insecurity for political gain. Let me just say the politicians. If you look at during Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, they used the same thing. During the Chibok girls, they used the same thing as a campaign tool to push Jonathan out of government. And we had it so worse during Buhari. When President Tinubu came in, beat respite. When I say respite, I mean in Kaduna State, where you just said is the hottest flashpoint in Nigeria. There was a kind of relief. Some of us are even saying that kidnapping, banditry is fizzling out. But all of a sudden, there is an increase going on the increase. So I honestly believe there are people, especially politicians, whenever they are not happy with this, they study the government and see the direction this government is going. And whenever they are not happy with government, they now, because they are the sponsors of these terrorists, they are the sponsors of these kidnappers, it's like they give them instruction to increase whatever they are doing, so that whenever election come, the issue of security shall be one of the point. We need to be serious. The government of the day needs to be serious so that we can stop this thing. It has been going on for a while, for a long time unabated. Nigeria is a country with civilized people. We have a military that is one of the best in the world. We have a police that is one of the best in the world. So I just can't imagine why we cannot stop this thing. I believe this is a time of technology. Now, if the security, if the DSS want to arrest me, they can do it through my GSM, through my phone. So, and these bandits, these kidnappers, they use the technology of GSM a lot. So how comes we cannot stop it?
Okay.
I believe we need to go back to our drawing board. That is the government of Nigeria.
Okay, Reverend
Go
David.
back to the drawing board and check what are we not doing that is that is not right.
Okay, Reverend.
What are we doing that is wrong? Is there some people giving information to these criminals? Because just yesterday, I read in the news that security forces also frustrating the campaign against these kidnappers and banditry.
Okay.
Security forces give these terrorists information. So I think the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police, the Nigerian DSS need to go back and also check inside their cupboard.
Okay,
And see
Reverend.
who are compromising among them.
We will get back to you in a moment. Let's quickly get to the studio where we have Jumbo also sharing insight with us. Now, as a public affairs analyst, Jumbo Godwin, what do you think is the root cause of this continuous insecurity in the nation, and how can we address it?
Okay, one of the root causes of this insecurity has to do with geopolitical elements, natural elements, and non-state group actors. You understand? Now, what do I mean by this non-state group playing a key role in insecurity? Now, we are already in an electionary period in those states, and you will see that some group of people who are not security men, they will be holding arms. You understand? And these guys will be contracted by same politicians. Not all the politicians, but some of these politicians, to work for them. You understand?
So you're aligning with the fact that
yes,
we have politicians that are actually behind this whole issue.
Yes, now, during this electionary period, you will see them working hard, tirelessly, kidnapping, snatching ballot box and all of that. And then at the end of the day, when these politicians get into office, they lock their offices. And they don't engage these people anymore. You understand? So what do they do for a living is to make sure that whatever they are holding in their hand, they use it as source of livelihood. So beyond that, I think unemployment rate in Nigeria is quite alarming. Currently, in 2022, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, unemployment rate in Nigeria is about 53%.
Okay.
And we cannot be secured when our youth are not gainfully employed. And so what is the way forward? First, government should, as a matter of urgency, provide employment for the youth. Okay. Aggressively engage the youth positively to the point that they won't have the time to involve themselves in any negativity. You understand? And beyond that, I think there should be a synergy between the intelligence officers. In this, currently in Nigeria, we have about 29 MDA. You understand? Now, there should be a synergy between these 29 MDAs working together. You understand? Whether army, whether police, everybody should be working together. We'll just look at a case that happened when 17 soldiers were killed in Delta State. Now, this shouldn't be a cry of the soldiers alone. The army and the police should be involved. The DSS should be involved. Everybody should work together. And he was just mentioning something that the DSS having okay, for instance now, a common man, if the DSS want to arrest anybody now,
they can track them.
They can do it.
Talked about using
yes,
GSM.
yes.
Yeah.
So let us also work with the Ministry of Digital Communication. You understand? At least you have your NIN. What is the essence of this NIN if this NIN cannot be used to secure our life? So that's my own candid opinion.
Let's get back to Reverend Ayuba that is actually standing by in Kaduna State. Just recently, Sheikh Gumi was invited by the authorities for questioning, and of course, he came out to say that he had a fruitful time with them. What role should our religious leaders play? You are one of the leaders we have in Kaduna State. You've been a voice from the Christian faith. Do you think our religious leader actually doing what they are supposed to do, with Sheikh Gumi having direct contact to an extent with some of these guys in the forest? Do you think it's a good signal for us as a nation?
Honestly, I feel people like Sheikh Gumi should be arrested. Why should I say he should be arrested? I believe he knows why this thing is going on. He knows why this thing have not stopped. You see, you don't negotiate with criminals, but he has been saying negotiate with them. What do they want? People come and kill people and rape people and maim people, and you are saying they should negotiate with them for what? And you should know where they are. That means he has a hand in this thing. And just like I said earlier, that politicians in this, apart from politicians, even some religious leaders, because it is Gumi is one of the religious leaders in northern Nigeria to come out and attack the Tinubu's government. Many of them came out to attack this government. Even me, I made a video then for to counter these religious leaders in the north. And if you check the list of the terrorist sponsors that the government released last week, most of them, they have connection with religious leaders. Somebody like that Mamu, that man, there is a man called Mamu, if I can get his name very well. He's very close to Gumi. He's very close to Gumi. So Gumi should know something about to do with this, what is going on with this kidnapping. It's not the issue of negotiation, it's the issue of arrest. Look at what happened in Russia. What happened in Russia, within 3 days, the terrorists were arrested. But Nigeria is going on unabated. It's going on as if it has become a business of the day. I think the government have to stand up, make some arrests. These religious leaders and also politicians. It's not the issue of negotiation. We don't supposed to negotiate with criminals. No. If the government are serious, this nonsense that is happening.
Okay, is there a need for a comprehensive overhauling of our security architecture, owing to the fact that we lost 17 soldiers, 3 officers, 4 officers, a colonel, 2 major, and a captain, and of course 13 private soldiers that actually lost their life at Kwama community? Do you think there's a real overhauling of the military architecture, or is the government not really paying attention to the needs of our security forces?
Well, when I saw that video of that 17 soldiers being killed, and I was... Is that question to me?
Jumbo is actually responding to that. We'll get back to you in a moment, Reverend.
All right. I was really bleeding in my heart. The truth is that our security architectures, they are not well equipped. They are not given the right materials to defend themselves and even defend the country also. You understand? A case of 17 soldiers being killed. What about an ordinary citizen who does not have access to a weapon like that? You understand? So I think what the government should start doing now is to equip these guys, equip them in such a way that they will be well armed and will be ready for anything. You understand? And another area is that I think this time around, every security agency should have a situation room, like where informations, evidence can be gathered. You understand? I think by so doing, we'll make headway in this security issue. And don't forget, the root cause of insecurity is lack of employment. Our youths are not gainfully employed. So the government should do everything humanly possible to make sure that our youth are gainfully employed. By so doing, it will reduce this insecurity.
Now, are you speaking from the angle of this region, or you are generalizing it?
I'm generalizing it because insecurity is not a regional matter.
Okay.
It's a national threat.
Okay, Reverend Ayuba, let's quickly, I know you want to share light on this as far as the architecture of the military is concerned. Do you think they don't have the force, or they don't have what it takes to match these guys? Because to an extent, we've heard from direct source who actually don't want their names mentioned, that when they get engaged with these criminals, the weapons these guys are actually having on them overpowers what the military have. Is it that the government, despite the monies that have been released year to year, both at the state level and the federal level, it's not enough to take care of the weapon that security architecture need to face these guys headlong?
The Nigerian military can face them, but it's the issue of compromise. In the military and the police, security system of Nigeria, we have people that are compromising. That is why, if you hear what happened in southern Kaduna, Plateau, and Benue, the natives there will tell you that the military are also conniving, or they are working together with the terrorists. So in the military, there are people that are also compromising, which the military, the Nigerian security need to check. They need to check themselves. There are people in the military that are compromising. Information to these terrorists. Sometimes, before the military move, or before the security forces move, the terrorists get to know. How do they get to know? Because information is being leaked. And who leaked it? Some element in the military. And the issue of weapons, the issue of weapons, that is why I don't agree about negotiation. I don't even agree with the issue of ransom payment, because it's with this same ransom they go and buy these weapons. AK-47 is about 700,000 naira, if not more than that. These Fulanis are not Fulanis that have business. They don't have cows. They are just militants. They are just terrorists. Most times, when they kidnap people, they ask of money and they ask of motorbikes. It's these motorbikes that they transfer themselves inside these bushes. So, Southern Kaduna alone, about 2 years ago, Southern Kaduna alone, that were kidnapped, 2.1 billion naira. How does that kind of money came from just Southern Kaduna? 2.1 billion naira. Imagine weapon of 2.1 billion naira. That is why they will have more ammunition than the Nigerian military. But the issue is that our military are trained. They are trained for this situation. But these Fulani bandits, they are just a ragtag. When I say ragtag, bunch of illiterates. They just gather themselves, go into the bush like a guerrilla forces. So our military can do it if they are serious. But again, this thing very, very well. Strongly, that is a conspiracy. Because why did I say that is a conspiracy? Why is it that it is a member of one tribe that are doing this? And what is a tribe? Fulani. I am not trying to stereotype the Fulani tribe. There are very good Fulanis. Even among Fulanis, there are pastors. But why is it that it is one particular tribe, Fulanis? They kill Christians. They also kill Hausa Muslims. And you will see that it is the Fulani religious leaders that are coming out to support the terrorists. The other time, one Fulani imam came out and said, Plateau belongs to Fulani. That even Plateau is a Fulani word. Plateau, an English word, became a Fulani language. These are some of the things that they use to ignite this thing. Say Jos belongs to the Fulani, which is not true. And it's this Fulani religious leaders that are doing that. And if you look at the sponsors again, the politicians are Fulani politicians. So why is it that the criminals are Fulanis? The religious leaders speaking for them are Fulanis. The politicians are Fulanis. That is what we need to check. That is a conspiracy. That is a Fulani conspiracy. And if it is not stopped, it will continue unabated.
Okay, talking about a conspiracy here now, Jumbo Godwin, just recently, someone who was actually fingered in terrorism sponsorship in the country, let me get that name very well, Anjawala, who is actually an executive of the Binance traders. Actually, he was in the hands of the National Security Advisor, and of course, he was let off the hook just like that. Nobody knew how he escaped from going to pray, and he just escaped. He talked about security being breached. He talked about communication being leaked to some of these elements. Do you think we should start holding those in power capable of some of this leakage?
Well, the truth remains that those sensitive informations are gotten from the insiders. You understand? The way our armies are being attacked these days, there is a clear indication that informations are not coming from the market square. It's coming right from the among themselves and all of that. So from my own perspective, I want everybody to checkmate themselves, because this whole insecurity matter is not getting funny anymore. We are losing lives every day. You understand? About 17 men were buried, and those guys, they left their family behind. And so what I'm saying in essence is, it's time we become accountable to ourselves. I think the security architecture, they need to be held accountable this time around. You understand? Especially when a project is being executed or is about to be executed, and already the informations have flied around and all of that. So what I want the government to do right now is to take security as a project. Mount this guy day and night. Don't give them sleep. You understand? There is no need negotiating with bandits. When you are negotiating with bandits, you are giving them, you are making them proud and letting them know that yes, what you guys are doing is good. What if we mount these people day and night and we don't give them breathing space? Let them know that what you are doing is wrong. By so doing, they will pull out from it. But when they do these things, and at the end of the day, they call the government of the day for negotiation, and somebody in the government is still negotiating with them, that's a slap in our face now. You understand? Recently, some few years ago, there was some citizens of America was kidnapped in Nigeria. What happened? Between a twinkle of an eye, America sent their security agency around, and that was end. You understand? You don't negotiate with bandits. It's only in Nigeria here you see people negotiating with bandits. And because of this, it becomes a political thing. You understand? Because some persons are eating from it. But I'm not trying to say that it's all politicians that are involved in all these things. We have people even from the offices giving them information and all of that. But I want to beg every one of us, let's stop this nonsense, because we are losing life at every given time.
Okay, Reverend Ayuba, just recently the government has been doing all it can to crack down on some of these sponsors. Well, Anjoanna was actually one of those that was in the custody of the National Security Advisor, the Office of the National Security Advisor. But unfortunately, what looks like what we only see in Nigerian movies actually took place at the Office of the National Security Advisor. From going to pray, perform his religious rites, Anjoanna actually escaped from custody. Something is wrong somewhere. Do you think that?
Wrong. Something is very wrong somewhere. And let me say, I'm not trying to point at accusing fingers, but I said it's a conspiracy, and authoritatively that it's a Fulani conspiracy. Before the attack in Bokos, I heard it from a source in Jos. There was a security report to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There's going to be an attack on Bokos. I learned that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have intimate his security apparatus, the Office of Security Advisor, that there is going to be an attack in Plateau State. But nothing was done until when the attack happened. Nothing was done. That is why I said that it's a conspiracy. I'm not trying to point at an accusing finger, but Fulanis in government, Fulanis in the military, and Fulani religious leaders, and the Fulani that are carrying arm in the bushes, they are working together. That is a conspiracy, and the government needs to sit down and look at this thing, because talking about lives, so many lives have been killed. Look at just Bokos. if not more than 300, almost 300 lives were killed. But we have not heard of any arrest. Even somebody you mentioned just now that was arrested escaped from custody. How did he escape from custody? Something is definitely wrong.
But Reverend Ayuba, to an extent, from those that were actually kidnapped in time past, you hear them saying things like some of these guys don't even speak local dialect. Some of them are not Nigerians. But if you are now alleging that the Fulanis are to be held accountable for some of these.
Sorry, can you take it again?
Are you listening? Are you there with us? You know, some of the persons that have been kidnapped in times past, they actually said that some of these guys, they don't really speak our local dialects. They don't either speak Fulani language or Hausa language. Most of them.
When they say Mayati Allah, Mayati Allah is not only Nigeria.
Okay.
Mayati.
Are you there, Reverend Ayuba? Okay, we'll get back to Reverend Ayuba in a moment. But however, you've actually.
If you can remember.
Okay. Is Reverend Ayuba back now?
Former President Muhammadu Buhari was the grand patron of Mayati Allah. He's not the grand patron of Mayati Allah Nigeria, but worldwide. So when they say Mayati Allah, you are talking about Fulani worldwide. That is why some of them cannot speak Hausa. They can't speak Hausa, but they are working together. Most of the Fulanis doing this are not the Fulanis from Nigeria. I agree, but they have a connection with the Fulanis that are in Nigeria that are doing this. So our borders need to be checked because they travel on motorbikes. How did they enter our border using motorbikes, and our immigration officials cannot dictate them? To bring up our intelligence, because you see, before any village is attacked, before anybody is attacked, most of the villagers, most of the people say they see strange people within them. If you see strange people within you, what do? Do you just keep quiet? I think even the Nigerian locals, apart from the security forces, we need to be asking questions. When you see these people that look like strangers, we should ask them questions. What are you doing here? What brought you here? And when are you leaving? Something happened in Benue State recently. The pastor to me that in a village in Benue, some two Fulani guys just dancing in the middle of the middle of the town, and he said, "This is strange. What kind of dance is this? Is this a ritual dance or what?" He made sure he find out where is the house of the village chief, and he informed the village chief, "Do something. If not, this village will be attacked." And that same night, that village was attacked. So before any attack, level of strange things happening, do we ask questions? We should not leave security only to the military or the police. Even with the citizens of Nigeria, we should wake up. We should be conscious. And I always say it, sir, if possible, get a gun for yourself. Self-defense is not a crime.
We are not promoting that on this platform, Reverend Azaman. You think citizens should start taking out? It's unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional.
You see,
it's unconstitutional, Reverend.
It's even constitutional to defend yourself. So don't worry.
Up to the extent of carrying arms, the Constitution didn't approve that. There are procedures anyway.
It is. Go and get your weapon, get license, get it legally.
Okay.
To defend yourself. That's what I mean.
We wouldn't want to, Reverend Ayuba, we wouldn't want to use Reverend Ayuba, we wouldn't want to use this platform to encourage citizens to start taking up arms. That's our point. But however, there are procedures.
Taking up arms to defend yourself.
But there are processes.
We are here to find solution. We shouldn't shy away from the solution. We say our military are not, they don't have enough arm to fight these people. So what do we do?
But don't you think, Reverend David, let's hold up a little and get this clear. But don't you think if citizens start picking up arms, some negative mindset people or individuals want to leverage on this again to commit more harm?
Yes.
Believe me, no citizen of Nigeria will go and do reprisal. No citizen of Nigeria will just go and attack somebody like that. when they come to kidnap you, if I have something, I'll defend myself. To kidnap me and wait for the military to come and save me? No. It shouldn't happen that way. You see, let me tell you something that happened. My house here in Kaduna, 2 years ago, you see, from my window, shots, as if they are coming to kidnap me. From my own window, I hear gunshot. Ta, 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 ta. Every week, somebody must be kidnapped behind my house. Not far from my house, about 1,000 feet, or let me say 2,000 feet from my house. A house was burned by the Fulanis, just near me. I have a first-hand speaking theory. What happened? Our young men in this area have guns, but what did they use? Sticks. A stick can be a weapon. A stick can be an arm.
Okay, self-defense.
They shout. Finish. Well, let me finish. When they hear that gunshot, you understand Hausa? They will say, Kariane. When they hear ta-ta-ta-ta, they will say, Kariane. That is how our young boys, we are following the sound of these gunshots. And the Fulanis were retreating. And since that day, 2 years now, we have not had that near my house. Why? Because the people have stood up to defend themselves. That is what I'm trying to say. We should not just wait for government.
Okay, Reverend David.
Thank you.
Reverend David, thank you so much for that insight. But however, we wouldn't want to still encourage citizens to start picking up arms. Like I said, there are constitutional process to get licensed. That's clear on that part. Thank you so much. But before we go now, quickly, you have been saying government should put things in place. Yeah. Just 20 seconds. What strategies should the government start putting in place? Starting from Edo State.
I think from the let's begin with community policing. You understand? I'm not in line with this submission of self-defense, carrying arms. No, because when you don't educate the citizen and you give them arms, they will end up killing themselves. You understand? So, but I believe that if we go with community policing, state policing, every governor should be given the autonomy to defend his own state and all of that.
Thank you so much, Reverend David. I'm afraid we don't have time again. We need to connect with our Abuja studio. But quickly, as a voice in Kaduna State, what have you done as a person to assist victims of kidnap? Those that were kidnapped in the past. Have you? As a pastor, yes.
I pray.
Okay.
I pray for the peace of the state. And I also encourage government not to be biased.
Okay.
Look at the people that were released. Kuriga, I'm not saying, if you look at it very well, the people that were released, most of them, they are Muslims. I'm not trying to cause, but let the government look at it very well. The people released recently, they are mostly Muslims. There are Christians out there that are kidnapped, and government are not talking about it. Are under the same government. So I think the government should not be biased in this fighting against these terrorists. Let us look at, let the government look, they are fighting for human beings,
Reverend.
Not a particular religion.
All right, thank you so much, Reverend Nayuba. We sincerely appreciate, but time is not our friend. Thank you so much, Jumbo Godwin, for being on the show.